Sherrod Blakely does a great job covering the Boston Celtics and the NBA for CSN New England. Kind enough to join me for a couple moments. How you been, pal?
I've been a little busy as expected, but you know what?
Busy's good though. It keeps you young, right? It's always a good thing.
It keeps you young and it keeps you worn the hell out.
That's right.
So,
spry too. Spry and energetic. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm curious. What's the buzz right now? Is this more of, well, we're sorry to see Thomas go, and then kind of the boatload, if you will. But hey, Celtics fans, you're happy to get Kyrie.
I think there's certainly, just from the numbers that we've done on our polls on our site, csnne.com, we've seen that there are more people are excited about having Kyrie Irving, and I don't think that's really a shock to anyone. You're talking about a guy who's younger than Isaiah Thomas, more accomplished in terms of what he has done from an individual standpoint and, from a team standpoint. As much as LeBron James has been that dude in Cleveland, Kyrie Irving, they don't win a title if Kyrie Irving does not go off the way he did in that series against Golden State, and maybe most important, hit the biggest shot in that franchise history to get them that title. So there's certainly a lot of excitement with Celtics Nation right now with the addition of Kyrie Irving. But, the flip side of that coin is the disappointment that Isaiah Thomas is no longer with the team, because he really, in the time that he was here in Boston these last couple of years, he really embodied what the Celtics want to be about. And that is being selfless, being focused on winning, doing anything and everything that you can to help the greater good, the team. And he'll be missed. But an opportunity to get a guy like Kyrie Irving, who, if we're being honest and candid, he's not even in his prime yet. And this guy is, when you look at what he's been able to do statistically, you look at his game and how it fits in with what the Celtics need going forward, this was a no-brainer for Danny Ainge to pull the trigger on this deal.
Well, I said it at the top of the monologue. I mean, both point guard, and you know this, covering the league as long as you have, the point guard play is vastly different than 20, 30 years ago. They're not looking to distribute or facilitate. They're looking to score first. And you got guys now that are averaging 23, 25, and you look at the numbers Thomas put up, Kyrie put up, they're looking to score first and foremost. You're not really getting them for the defense. I'm just curious, though, and I'm wondering, because of those lingering injuries with Thomas and that hip injury, did that make it a little more easier, if you will, for Danny Ainge to pull the trigger here?
Oh, absolutely. He in his conference call with reporters, last night, he mentioned that, the hip injury did play some role in this decision. And he went even a step further, saying that Isaiah Thomas may not be ready to go at the start of the season. And so thinking about those factors, looking at the particular players involved in the deal, it made a lot of sense both in the short and long term for Boston to pull the trigger on this deal, because with Kyrie Irving, this guy's going to make about, $18.9 million this year and, just over $20 million the following season. Next summer, Isaiah Thomas is going to be in line for a major contract, a contract that could potentially, cost the team more in the first year than Kyrie Irving is going to make in this year and next year combined. So for the Celtics, this was a deal that both made sense in terms of talent and in terms of from a financial standpoint as well.
Couple minutes with Sherrod Blakely, covers the Boston Celtics, CSN New England, covers the NBA, 12:26 on a Wednesday. Rich Quinones here. You throw in Crowder as well. You get Brooklyn's, the trade itself, Brooklyn's 2018 unprotected first-round pick. To me, when you look at Richard Jefferson, 36, 37 years of age, you got Jeff Green declining as a primary backup. Crowder's addition, I don't think it can be overlooked, but what about giving up that 2018 unprotected first-round pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Celtics, they are really hoping that D'Angelo Russell becomes a stud this year.
Because that's anyone's talking about, right? Right? They're looking around, well, it's a swap for player. No, by the way, that unprotected first-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think, when you look at what Brooklyn has done, the one thing I think that, the Celtics, and I think they realize why that they had to include this pick, and I don't think they're going to have any buyer's remorse, is because, Brooklyn, they're not by any means going to be a title contender or even a playoff team, but they're going to be a better team just because of the talent that they added. As we mentioned, D'Angelo Russell, you got, DeMar Carroll is going to be there, and if Jeremy Lin can stay healthy, And their record with Jeremy Lin, they're not a playoff team, but they're pretty close to being in the 500 neighborhood when he's been able to play. So they're going to be a better team. They're probably going to win more games. And if you're the Boston Celtics, that's going to be an awesome thing to see happen, to give that pickup at a time when Brooklyn is starting to make strides. And what can't be overlooked in this is the pick that the Celtics got when they traded down to get Jason Tatum that they're going to get from the Los Angeles Lakers, a team that is going to do everything they can to not be successful, because it doesn't do them any good to be a winning team now when they're trying to make sure they've got as much money to spend for LeBron James and Paul George, trying to fit those guys under. So the Celtics, you got rid of a pick from a team that's probably going to be in a rise, and you keep a pick from a team, the Lakers, who are probably not going to be that good, probably going to be one of the bottom 5 teams in the league. So that pick from Brooklyn, it doesn't look quite as good, now when you start looking at what Brooklyn has done in the offseason than it did, maybe last, at the end of this past season.
Danny Ainge, I think it's understated. Danny Ainge gets it, right? He knows what he needs to do, and I think he also understands, and you can speak more into this, that the window of opportunity, it might not be closing right away because you're hoping LeBron opts out after a year or so, but the last time he acquired 2 players coming off All-Star seasons was back in 2007. And oh, by the way, we haven't even brought up Hayward. So you're looking at the free agent deal. You're looking at Kyrie. So I guess the question is, right now, today, the 23rd of August, 2017, do the Boston Celtics believe that they have surpassed Cleveland?
No. And I don't think they will say that publicly or privately, because for them, the only way you can feel that you are there is if you've done it, is if you've actually played them and you've proven that you can go toe-to-toe with them, and they just haven't done that. The big concern for the Celtics is chemistry. They only have 4 guys back from last year's team that went to the conference final, and only one of those 4 guys was a starter, and that's Al Horford. So there's a lot of proven ground that has to be covered among the players in that Boston Celtics locker room before they can really start feeling good about their chances at dethroning Cleveland. But make no mistake about it. On paper, they're right there with Cleveland. They are going to be in the thick of things. I see them, Cleveland. I think Washington is a team to keep an eye on as well in the East. But the Celtics have positioned themselves to where they have a cornerstone superstar that they can potentially build around going forward. And as we mentioned earlier, they're going to get a pretty high first-round pick, via the Lakers next year. So they're going to have the potential to add even more talent to this team. And that really is what I think the big takeaway from this deal is for the Celtics. They were able to position themselves to maintain a lofty perch in the Eastern Conference while still having the ability to have young players down the road that they can develop and still, again, compete for the now and the foreseeable future.
I think people looked at Boston last year and they looked at him, and again, this is what I gathered. I didn't believe it. I thought Boston was a good team, but it's also the fact that, hey, you got Cleveland that takes their foot off the gas for the last month or so, but Boston still won 53. They earned the right to be the top seed in the Eastern Conference, and it seemed as though they still weren't given their just due. I'm curious, though, from a Cleveland standpoint, and I'm just curious on your opinion with this, because of that draft pick now, that 2018 draft pick, and the thought of LeBron opting out. Do you think maybe that makes some kind of rethink, well, we're going to get a good draft pick here where maybe even if I opt out, I'll re-sign with Cleveland?
You're talking about LeBron?
Yeah, I'm talking about LeBron. I'm talking about LeBron. Yeah, I wanted to get just overall thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think a lot will just depend on how this season plays out.
Yeah.
If they're back in the NBA Finals and they find a way to either beat Golden State or it's a really good series, and I think it enhances their chances of him coming back, because you'll have Isaiah Thomas. They're going to have to pay him. Jay Crowder's on a very team-friendly contract. And, they're hoping that, the Zizic kid that we haven't really talked about was part of the deal. They're hoping that he can develop and give him some minutes, in the front court. Cleveland knows that their window to compete for a title is very, very small right now. It's this year or bust. And depending on how deep they can go, that will have a huge impact on whether LeBron decides to stay there long term.
Last one. Got about 30 seconds before I let you get out of here. But still, at the end of the day, everyone still has to get past Golden State.
Absolutely. I mean, you're playing for second place in the NBA right now because Golden State. Yeah, I mean, really, if you want to get past the participation trophy mentality, you can do that. But there is a legitimate. It's not even. I can't even call it a glass ceiling. It's more like a concrete ceiling.
I agree.
That Golden State is ahead of everyone else, and the Celtics. I give them credit. They're giving themselves a chance to be legitimately in that conversation. But make no mistake about it, Cleveland is still the team to beat in the Eastern Conference before and after this trade.
Yeah. Hey, Sherrod, great stuff. Hey, by the way, I like the Fanta grape, not the orange, by the way. Just letting you know.
It's not bad.
Well, how many of those you down a day when you're traveling, you're on the road? Give you a little energy, a little juice.
Depends on where I'm at. I mean, as many as I can. But listen, I went to Syracuse, so I'm automatically partial.
I know. Hey, great stuff, my friend. I appreciate you jumping on board for a couple minutes.
No problem.
All right, you got it. Be well. We'll talk along the way. Sherrod Blakely. It's all about the Fanta. We used to drink that.